And we are on the air. Welcome to the Smartphone Photographers Google Community weekly, quote, quote, hangout, point and shoot. And here we go. It has been 2 weeks since we had our last hangout, I believe. And I've got two of our community moderators plus myself in here. My name is Joey Kelly. With me tonight, Mike King and Mike Sweeney. So that would be the person that likes most of my photos and the person that tells me that I'm wrong all the time, respectively. So this should be a good show. Missing tonight is Ant Pruitt, our community owner. He is traveling and working and making enough money to support his photography habit, allegedly. So we'll get on with the festivities for the evening, but before I skip over introductions, let's start in the middle. Mr. King, would you introduce yourself, please?
I'm Mike, and from Houston, and well, oh crap! I'm hearing now my satellite getting the crap beaten out of it by a hailstorm. Oh well. Welcome to Houston.
I can't help you with that much, but in the risk of beating the crap out of people because they're in nice, warm, sunny California, Mr. Sweeney, give us a little brief introduction to you, sir.
75 and sunny here, my man. 75 and sunny. So,
the beatings will continue until morale improves.
Not going to happen. My name is Mike Sweeney. I'm part of the M&M show tonight, and we'll be sure to keep you guys entertained.
Oh, M&M. For a second there, I thought you were going to start rapping about your misspent childhood outside of Detroit. I'm sorry.
I could.
Yeah, brain went one way, went another.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Whew. All right. Speaking of brain going one way and stuff going the other, we had an interesting challenge here within the community this week. This one was set up by the aforementioned Ant Pruitt, our community owner, and he put out a description, and it said this will be a fun challenge for you. Take a shot of something that made you laugh. Share the story behind it. Votes on photos should not be based upon whether the voter thinks it's funny or not, as not everyone has the same sense of humor. Joey has learned this by now, I hope. Not quite sure what is meant by that. I'm frickin' hilarious. Anyway, votes will be based
legend in your own mind.
Yeah. Votes will be based on technique, composition, and quality of the photo. Try to remember your framing, rule of thirds, clarity, blah, 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 blah. Practice what you've learned for the community. No stress. Have some fun with it. So, 2-week challenge. There are 11 photos in here. Unfortunately, only 10 of them are actually eligible. One of them was posted by Ant as a FYI kind of a starter shot. Ironically, that's the one that technically won the contest with the most votes, even though he says right in the description, this is not eligible. So second to that, we actually have a 3-way tie going between 2 of my photos and one of Jose. I can never pronounce your last name, Jose, so I'm going to not even butcher it. Okay, so I'll hopefully we'll get another vote or two in here somewhere that's going to change who won, and we'll go from there. So the name of this challenge was Made Me Laugh Puns. So I took the pun thing to be literal, so I started trying to come up with a way of photographing phrases and puns and whatnot. So that's the way I took the challenge. Ant then later told me, no, it's just whatever makes you laugh. I'm going, okay. And who knows? What did you guys think about the description, Sweeney?
I didn't read the description. I knew I couldn't make the challenge, so I didn't look at it.
Okay, valid point. King, what did you think?
It's interesting.
He's just staring off in space.
No, I'm actually back in the. I'm in the what you call it, the events. But no, I liked it. It was not one of the more harder ones that has been put up.
Not by a long shot. So let's see here. Well, let's take one.
Okay, do we have a winner?
Well, we didn't a minute ago. Let's look now. Hold on, refreshing. ETT3. No, we still don't have a winner. Technically, the three-way tie. Still.
Huh? Because
Anyway.
I took away a couple of votes. Unless there's another 3 somewhere.
There are 3 threes right now.
Have you refreshed?
One of mine just went down to 2. And there's still 2 threes.
All right, let me go look.
Oh, no, my other shot went down to 2. So now there is a winner. All right, so starting off with this shot, this was actually what I thought of first when I thought of puns. So as this is not a winning shot now, we'll move on from there. And let's see here. I'm going to share my screen. Whoops. Back one. No, where'd it go? Okay, gentlemen, can you see my screen?
I just see something black.
Black.
Okay, hold on. Let me try that again. Stop. And sharing screen, entire screen. And there we go.
Yep, there we are.
Okay, so this is an old pun, an old joke that I thought was terribly funny. So I decided I was going to try to photograph it. And please tell me that you both get the pun.
Somewhat.
Sweeney?
Nope.
Nothing?
No, because I'm trying to find a picture for later today, so I guess I should probably pay attention to you and your salty battery.
Yeah. Assault and battery. Thank you very much. Yes. All right, King, does that assault and battery?
Yep.
I thought it was hilarious. Assault and battery. And I'll tell you why this one sticks in my head. It comes from an old joke. My ex-wife was cooking in a frying pan on the stove and she dumped a bunch of salt in to season up something, and I handed her a battery.
You would.
She's like, "What is this?" I'm like, "No, you just assaulted the pan. I thought maybe you want to give it some battery."
Did she take it and throw it at you?
Actually,
no wonder she's not married.
Yeah, I think actually after she finally comprehended it, she thought it was funny. But it took her a while. Anyway, moving on.
Anyways, moving on.
Yeah.
Moving along.
I think this is quite possibly one of the funnier shots in terms of it is a visual pun.
It
but,
is.
Yeah, but
it's a
it
good
is
one.
not, and I will admit this, I'll admit this straight up, this is not my best photographic work ever, by a long shot. But it's a pretty good visual pun. So I'll just shut up at this point and let Sweeney tell me why. Well, no, let's start with King. King, you tell me what you think about it.
I caught it right off the bat, and I thought it was pretty good. I liked it. It was a pun, and it did make me laugh pretty good, which I needed at the time.
All right.
'Cause I liked that.
I'm glad that I was able to assault your senses.
Boom.
And Sweeney, you tell me why I did everything on this photo wrong.
No, you only did one
Because
thing
you took
wrong.
it wrong.
I only did one thing wrong. Okay.
Well, two things actually.
Oh,
3 things.
Yeah.
One,
yeah,
he
give me
took
some
it
time.
with a Nexus. 2, he took it. 3, he took it.
Now, one of the issues I ran into when I first glanced at it is I didn't see the battery because it was
A little too dark.
kind of in the back corner there, out of sight, out of mind.
yeah. Okay. Yep.
So I think if you'd put the battery in the foreground a little bit, it might be a little easier to figure out. Now, the other thing, which is a quibble, because we're trying to apply artistic sensibilities to a picture that is not artistic at all. It is meant to be funny. Is it's a little tight on the cropping, but I
Yes.
understand why.
Yeah. I dare someone else to try to get a good picture on their washing machine without it being cropped ridiculously. It's pretty tight, you know. This was literally the first space I found with a sort of a neutral colored background that didn't require, you know, a whole ton of work to clear out a space on a wall or something to give me a nice kind of solid background.
But see, a dedicated photographer like yourself would have taken the white sheet off your bed, stapled it to the wall, and called it a day.
Yeah, I don't have sheets on the bed. I have tarps. I'm cheap.
Tarps.
Yeah, I'm a redneck. I don't have to wash them. I just take them outside and blow them off with the hose and put them back.
There you go.
So, all right. So that's our visual pun shot. Let's take a look at a very late entry. This is by Annette, who was trying multiple times to apparently to submit this via mobile upload. Once again, just a disclaimer for anybody in the community. Don't bother with the mobile upload. It so rarely works that you might as well not even bother. Get to a PC, get to a Mac, get to a Linux box, get to something, and upload it through a PC. And Annette simply tells the story that this is a horse's ass.
Oh, we must be talking about you.
It works.
It does. It does. It works really good.
Yeah. What? So, Mike King, what do we think about this shot?
Again, it's fitting. I like it. You know, I wouldn't make it a political joke about it, but I won't. But it is really fitting. I like that. She did a nice job.
All right. Mr. Sweeney, tell her why she's wrong.
It's not straight.
That's the only problem. It's just a little crooked, but other than that.
Crooked.
You know, actually, for once, Sweeney, I agree with you.
What I might have suggested for her, though, is to tighten up the crop considerably to get the ass part.
Yeah.
And lose the base of the statuary there.
That and also said crop it a little bit. I mean, straighten it. Other than that, you know, that's the two things. I agree with. I actually agree with Sweeney that if you just cropped the.
It's a red letter day.
At the very bottom where the hooves are, and also brought the sky cropped from the down and straightened it up a little bit.
Yeah.
It'd been perfect.
One comment from, again, this is me playing Monday morning quarterback after the Sunday game. I would think, unless there was some good reason why she couldn't have, she could have just taken one giant step to the left and lined up the tail, the horse's butt, and the dude all with the sun. And I don't think that would have been a huge problem. As it is, it looks kind of awkward because it's kind of off-center and not straight. Anybody else see what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
You're just being your normal picky-ass self.
It's, you know, hey, like I said, I have an ex-wife.
That's why.
So Annette just got this one in. I think it's quite funny. I think it's quite a good shot, and whatnot, and probably would have done a lot better had she been able to get the thing to upload sooner. Moving on from there, we'll take a look at another one here. This is from Richard Orth, and okay. I don't understand the shot.
I think I see it. Don't you see the water leaking out? And it's kind of like mine.
Yeah,
either you laugh, it's something you laugh about, or do you laugh or you cry because it's a broken water pipe.
But I'm sorry. Okay, all right. I realize you're not supposed to vote for it based upon it being funny or not, but this doesn't strike me as funny at all. Not in the slightest. It doesn't. It's not amusing. It's not quirky. It's not fun. It's not anything to me except a good shot of a decayed water pipe. But it doesn't feel funny to me. And I understand what he's saying. His comment here is you got to laugh or you would cry. And yeah, I get it. It's not. It's one of those situations, but it doesn't make me jump up and down and scream laughter. What do you think, King?
Well, as I said, just like mine, it's either do you laugh or do you cry? And but whoa, what the hell?
Oh, sorry. Whoa, there we go into recursion again. Forgot what I was doing.
Ow. Okay, again, it's just it's like mine. It's not. It's definitely not funny. That's for sure. Broken water pipe of his to his house, the plumber's bill, the water bill, and all that kind of stuff. But I know what he was getting at. Just like I said, that picture of those thunderstorms coming in. What do you do? Laugh about it or cry? That's the only thing I can think of. And other than that, it's just a decayed water pipe with water gushing out of it.
All right. What do you think, Mr. King?
Sweeney.
Sorry, Mr. Sweeney. Sorry.
I was going to say, getting old there, forgetting where you are.
The mind's first thing to go.
Yeah, no, it's the second.
Well, I'm sitting here looking at this thing, trying to figure out how it plays into the title of the event, and I just can't make it fit. And yes, his comment's right. You can laugh or you can cry about it, but honestly, to the average person looking at it, they wouldn't know that. So, sorry, Richard, I don't see it.
Well, a few weeks ago, in one of the Hangouts, I talked about some pictures that I had taken, had this great idea as to how I was going to show the Hangout, and oh yeah, this is going to be great, and and then I get there and I take the pictures and I realize that without the context, without the story behind them, the photos are totally meaningless. And I think that this could be one of those situations where if you knew the backstory, it could almost be funny. But if you don't know the backstory, it's just Thoughts?
You're right.
But that goes back to my harping all the time about pictures got to tell a story.
Yeah.
If I've got to put words with it, then I'm not telling the story.
Yeah.
Not with the picture, at least.
And if the picture is supposed to be worth 1,000 words, then some of us need spell check.
Amen to
that. All right. So, okay, so one shot that I thought was quite funny, and I'll admit it is one of mine, sorry, was this one. And this is a bit of an inside geek joke. The description is, I found the answer. Nexus 6, stock camera, HDR mode, post and Snapseed, B&W conversion, brightness, contrast, structure tweaks. Thank you again, Sweeney, for the structure filter. Absolutely love that thing. And King, your thoughts on this one?
Again, it's one of your better pictures, that's for sure. You're
okay. Am I to be insulted, or?
I said it's one of your better pictures now. You're getting better. You're not in the same quality as Aunt Pruitt. You're better than that. But I tell you, I liked it.
Okay, I'm trying not to be insulted. Sweetie, tell me why I'm wrong.
Because you are.
It doesn't fit the requirements.
As in, doesn't make you laugh?
Not at all.
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy doesn't do anything for you?
It's, you know what? Think lowest common denominator.
If I didn't know that cultural reference is what you're saying.
Yes.
Yeah.
You need, so, there's a reason why they used icons and symbology for 3,000 years in religion. It wasn't inside jokes either. They put together very simple signs that every idiot could understand and figure out without a whole lot of words. For an inside joke, if you happen to know the story, it's fine. But for the average consumer, they won't get it. Now, technically, it's a snapshot. I like the texture. I like the fact that you actually went a little to the white side with some nice blacks and grays. That's good. Good boy. You're learning.
Yes, Master Sweeney, sir. Yeah. Yeah. I have to admit, I've said it before. I will say it again. I wish Snapseed was a desktop app.
Yes, it was.
Well, no, but I wish it was again. The usability, the tweaking.
You have it. It's called Nick Tools.
Well, yeah, exactly. There's a lot of that functionality and whatnot that's in there, but it doesn't quite work in the same fashion.
It's not as easy to use. I'll grant you that.
No, it is not. It is not as easy to use. And I am finding, however, that I really do like my Nick Tools, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. But to crown the winner with a grand total of 3 votes is this shot from Jose, and I'm not even going to try Jose because I know I'm going to butcher your name again. And this is of Shelter, the pointer, his beloved dog, Goofy, and always makes him laugh, he says.
It's hard not to have a face like that and make you laugh.
Yeah, no.
Right.
Mike King, thoughts?
I'm a dog lover, and you just have the face like that and looking like that, you can't help but to laugh at him. Because as I said, I've had a dog that she can look at you the weirdest thing, and she's trying to be serious, and you start laughing at her because just the looks. So yeah, I like it.
All right, Sweeney.
Well, it's a big change from the never-ending tide of grumpy cats. So kudos for not shooting a cat.
Well, you can go shooting a cat. It won't hurt.
Well,
members of the ASPCA
like
can write to Michael King at.
Right. I happen to like cats. I've had a lot of cats, but the difference between cats and dogs is cats never ever forget, and they hold a grudge forever. You know, dogs will hold a grudge until the next treat, then all's forgiven.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this dog, when I look at it, I just kind of sit there and smile because it reminds me a lot of my last dog. Just very happy-go-lucky type of critter. Now, I think I might have liked it better with a tennis ball in his mouth. I see the tennis ball sitting there, but
oh yeah, or a stick or something.
Yeah, something that tells the story. But this works well enough.
I once took a picture of my dog Chevy with an oversized jumbo, like 5-inch tennis ball in his mouth, and then put the caption on it, "I like big tennis balls and I cannot lie."
I thought you were just going to say it, and never mind.
Yeah.
Family show.
An old AC/DC song lyric, maybe.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anyway, let's see here. Screen sharing stop. Yay. All right, Jose, get a hold of myself and Pruitt or any of the other moderators and get your challenge idea posted. You have one, sir. And let us know what you like to think about for our next challenge. And if you don't want to post it, we'll post it for you. In the meantime, I want to thank everybody that submitted. I want to thank everybody that's, including Annette, that obviously got in just under the wire. Again, would like to encourage people not to use the mobile upload because it just does not seem to work reliably. So we'll move on from there.
There isn't one for the for iOS.
Yeah. So as a kind of a brief aside, I have been one person that has advocated a lot of open source software and whatnot for photo management, free stuff, whatnot, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I have to admit, I finally have had my head knocked in a couple of times, and I wound up buying a subscription to Creative Cloud.
Took you long enough.
took me long enough, yes. I have been using it to process photos with the Nik Tools add-in from Google, which is now free. And I have to admit, I am completely impressed with what those tools specifically can do.
Oh my God. Look what the cat dragged in.
Speak of the devil and he shall appear, or in this case, speak of the Aunt Pruitt and he shall appear.
So y'all been talking about it, huh?
Oh, that's all we do on these.
Oh, jeez.
And I can barely hear you.
Yeah,
That's a hell of a wine rack I see in the background.
This place is pretty nice, man, even though I'm not going with wine. I'm going with blood pretty good. So.
Oh, check this out.
Wow, he's interrupting dinner to chat with us. His dinner companion must be really boring, folks.
I'm just, this is my dinner companion.
Dude,
in other words,
you have no idea how much sympathy I have for you right now, because
There's
that
no
is
sympathy.
like
This is how I like it.
that's how you like it? Oh, okay, all right, because I'm like, that's my only option, you know.
I think he talks back.
Yeah.
Exactly. How y'all doing?
He's got the wine rack. He's got a Superman shirt. He's good.
Oh yeah. Not to mention the single malt or something there in the glass. Can you crank up your gain at all?
I'm on my phone, so I just have to yell. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's fine. Anyway, so we just gone through the hangout and declared Jose the winger. The winger.
Winger.
Yeah, he's the winger. Meh. No,
That's
dog
better
vote,
winger than
right?
wanker.
yep.
yeah. Mm.
I
Wow.
didn't see. I'm sorry, I didn't see all of the other ones in there earlier, Joey. I commented that like there was only 4 or 5 shots, and
Were you looking at the highlights only again?
not on mobile. That was all it showed me.
Weird. Yeah, we had 11 submissions, and it is a little bit below average. But actually, what we just started talking about before you joined, I have finally succumbed, as I had told you, Ant, privately, to buying Creative Cloud or getting a subscription. And
Right.
the Nik Tools, which is an add-on now free from Google,
Yeah.
are absolutely phenomenal.
Right.
I am completely blown away, and I'm going to do a little screen sharing here just because I can.
You played with the black and white stuff yet? The silver effects?
Yeah, that's actually what I'm going
Silverfax
to.
is my
love
best
that.
friend.
Yep, that's actually what I'm going to show you right now. Now this was not done with a
Dinner's
smartphone.
Dinner's here. I'm going to have to go,
Okay, see ya.
but I'm going to show it to you first, though. Thank you, madam. That tuna was great. Thank you all so much for that. So this is dinner, folks.
Oh, there's dinner.
Okay, I'll let you guys go, man.
All right, have fun.
Thanks for everything. See you.
Thanks for jumping in, Ant. All right, Ant's gone. Okay, so
Whoa.
holy echo, Batman. All right, so
No,
this is not a smartphone shot. This is an old point and shoot camera that I dug through. This was shot exactly 11 years ago today, at about this time actually, 9:10 p.m. And it's a time exposure, 15 seconds, probably tripod mounted, although I don't remember. And as shot, it's okay. It's not bad. It's not great. It's not horrible. But when I ran it through Silver Effects Pro, which is one of those Nik tools, I'm just blown away. The other thing I did after I ran it through there was ran it through the denoising filter that Nik also provides. What do they call that, Sweeney?
Which one?
The one that
denoising one.
reduces the grain.
Reduces the grain? I don't remember offhand.
It's one of them. I forget now. Now I'm gonna have to look. It's
Well, you realize I'm gonna be point counterpoint tonight with you.
Oh, that's fine. I'm always prepared to be wrong. Not sharpener. Define, I think it was. Noise reduction, tuned to the camera. Might have also been Sharpener Pro, both of which are included in Nik Tools. and it just took out the grain of that shot, particularly after the editing process and decoloring and whatnot, and it was just ridiculous how much the shot was improved. That's quite possibly one of the not as good of a example as this other one that I'm about to show you. Let me see here. Where is it? Okay, so here is the as shot, and it's an okay landscape. It's not bad, but it's not really jumping off the screen at me. And here it is after having been run through Color Effects Pro, and also the what else was the other thing? Ran it through another one of them. I think it might have been. I think it was Sharpener Pro on this one, and it just makes the colors pop, and I haven't lost anything here. There's no loss to this at all. It just looks awesome, in my opinion. And this was done very quickly with a minimal amount of effort, and I'm waiting for Sweeney to tell me what I did wrong.
No, what I was going to point out is to all the hipsters who have got it in their head that the only real photography was shot in camera and you don't post-process it. Everything like this image that came out of a real camera would film was processed heavily. Either you chose a different developer or you screwed around with the times. You played with games with high contrast, low contrast filters on the enlarger. You played games with how long you played games with dodging and burning. I mean, they were processed. It was just the equivalent of chiseling on a rock. Now
not
we've
to
got
mention, of
electronic
course,
tools.
not to mention, of course, the whole push processing.
Oh,
where
yeah,
where you literally do things improperly to the film to make it.
But that's the point. I mean, that's precisely the point. Is people get hung up on, well, in the old days they didn't do all this. Oh, yes, they did.
Oh, yeah.
We did it.
Now, what do you got showing on your screen here? Now, this was something I think you posted. Was it on your Facebook or was it in the community?
It was actually in G+ community. I wanted to show how good the apps are getting. In other words, how good the software is getting on your smartphone. So this was a picture taken with my iPhone. It was probably taken with the 4S. I don't think I had the 5S at the time. And I used some white notebook paper and two $60 video lights for my lighting. Shot the picture. One was processed with Tiffin's software, which is Photo FX. The other picture was processed in Photoshop CS6. Now, you take a look at the pictures and you tell me which is which.
Well, considering the caption tells me which is which, I'm kind of cheating.
But the point is, yes, but if you look at the picture, you would be very hard-pressed. There are some subtle differences, but you would be hard-pressed. And
they're differences, though. They're not necessarily flaws.
Right. And so the one that was in Photoshop was actually done in Silver Effects, by the way.
Good to know.
So, and for those that don't want to read it, the image on the left, which is not quite as harsh, is the one that was finished off in Photoshop. The image on the right was finished on the iPhone, completely on the iPhone. I mean,
I almost prefer the harsher one, to be honest.
Depends what you're doing. I happen to like the softer one because it picks up the really subtle texture on the barrel of the lens better. But that's just a personal preference. Yeah. Keep in mind that was over a year and a half ago, and the software has only gotten better, and the processor power on the smartphones has only gotten better. So you're working with a real computer now.
It is amazing. at the risk of getting all retro here, and I know that both of the two of you have more time to have experienced this than I have, but I remember distinctly being in a Staples, buying the first family computer in 1995, and being told that we would never fill up the 400 meg hard drive.
Speaking of cats.
Salesman goes, it'll never happen. And he got a little catty. Hi, Mushu. I have determined, by the way, that I don't actually own or run the house. I'm just on the paperwork. The cat
does.
The cat is in charge, and apparently in charge of the microphone as well. Come here, kitty.
Yes, every cat does that.
Yeah. So anyway, but and then to fast forward and to realize that the Nexus 6 that I got sitting here has 64 gigabytes of storage.
More power than that desktop computer ever had.
Yeah, literally, in terms of storage alone, more than 128 times the storage. And I can carry it in my freaking pocket.
Yep.
I
hear you.
The world has changed. The world has fundamentally shifted. And it has really, really changed. And the one thing I am noticing in my business, for those that don't know, I do IT, I work on people's computers, networks, et cetera, things have really shifted in that we're not seeing people buying computers anymore. They are going more towards tablets and multi-purpose devices and whatnot. And it's a trend that I've long thought was not as bad as it was being made out to be. I think, if anything, on the consumer side, it may actually be worse than what has been reported. And I say worse, better are relative terms. The simple fact of the matter is that no matter how good your smartphone is, it'll never have the power of a desktop PC, and it will never have the storage of a desktop PC because of physical size restrictions. You can. If we had the same level of technology, I could put terabytes and terabytes into a computer case as opposed to a small device to carry around in my pocket. They're different devices; they do different things. But I think, quite frankly, the power that we can walk around with now is absolutely astonishing. So there we go. And there's a joke going around. I don't know if either of you two have heard of it, but imagine someone from the 1950s is transported forward in time, and you have to explain to them how life is in the 2015-16 era, and you have to. The hardest thing to describe is the fact that you have a device that's capable of accessing most of the world's knowledge, and the only thing you do with it is take pictures of yourself while you're drunk and get in fights with people about who has the cutest picture of a cat.
Yeah. Well,
back back to that angry, grumpy cat again.
Yeah, like this watch has more computing power than the entire Apollo spacecraft up to, and the lunar module that went to the moon and back.
Yeah, I have a calculator that has more processing power than that. I actually ran into a guy that was involved with the Apollo program. I said, "So how much did that really have?" His exact answer: not much. So it must have been really bad. Anyway, so that's what I've been doing, messing around with these NIC add-ons to Lightroom, and I think at least one of those works in Photoshop as well. Sweeney, been up to anything interesting lately?
I've been playing with a new app. Well, it's not new, but they have a new version out. That's called the ON1 Photo 10.
Yes.
And
yes.
What I'm looking for is something for my wife who lived in iPhoto until Apple absolutely ruined it with the new Photos app. And she has been somewhat difficult to live with when she's working with it now. So it's in my best interest to find a new app that works better. And I've shopped around, and Lightroom is way too much for her, to be quite honest about it. Too complicated, even though it would work. I've looked at the Elements, and the issue I have with Elements is they've done something different between Photoshop, Lightroom, and Elements, and that is Elements throws the CPU into a mile-high conniption fit.
Mm-hmm.
And it works. It's stable. It just really makes the machine work really, really hard. Much harder than it should.
Yeah.
So I'm not too keen on that. And I've shopped around, but I've kind of settled on this new Photo 10 that might actually work out well for her. You can highlight and mark pictures. You can sort them by metadata. You can do really fast edits with canned or create your own edit routine. And it's got a pretty simple GUI. And it's not too terribly expensive.
What's the price on that one? Do you know what the price is off the top of your head?
I paid $70, but I think mine was an upgrade.
Oh, gotcha.
Let me see.
On Photo 10, brand new,
On
$109.99.
Photo 10. How much? 109? Yeah.
$109.99. The upgrade is $89.99. But On One does have some free add-ons
They do.
that you can add into Lightroom, and also
And here's a benefit.
Uh.
It runs as a standalone, or it can run as a plugin for Lightroom and Photoshop.
Yes, this was actually recommended to me.
So,
Yeah, it's a it's. I've been told that this is a really nice set of effects, even just as an add-on.
yeah, it is. I like Photo Mechanic, but it doesn't have native editing. It wants to load a third-party editor.
Yeah, there is one called Silverstone you might want to look at too.
Yeah. Silverstone.
Yeah, Silverstone. I like that one. Free for home use. And that's nice, because I went looking for something after they killed Picasa, and that was probably the best one that I found at the time. But you know, it is what it is. You know, there's when you get used to an interface, it's really difficult to get off that interface.
And that sore spot with me, because I was a hardcore user of Picasa before Google ruined it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Sweeney, as soon as we get out of the Hangout, there's some things I'm going to tell you about the new photo app.
Okay.
That it's going to get changed. I can't tell them. I won't say anything over the air.
That's fair enough.
You're not going to like it.
Well, I don't like the photo app now. So.
Oh, you're going to like it even less. Wait till I tell you. It's going to be in the new OS.
Well, folks, you heard it here first. Sweeney won't like it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Right,
Apple,
well,
I like a lot what you do, but your photo app absolutely sucks. Bottom line, sucks. Badly.
wow. To
Did I
quote
make that
Top Gear, and on that bombshell. Mike King, anything real quick before we get out of here that you've been working with lately?
I've been just still trying since I got the 6S Plus.
Yep.
I've been trying some of the new photo apps on that just because this thing has a hell of a camera, and I've been just playing around with all of them. And some of the new updates to Manual Cam and some of the others are taking full advantage of everything that the new iPhone's camera can do, and I'm really impressed.
Good. All right, good to hear. Well, we will see you all next week, quote, quote, in the Hangout here on Point and Shoot. Check us out on Google+, Smartphone Photographers. It is a moderated community. You do have to apply for membership. See myself, any of the other two gentlemen in the Hangout, or our group owner, Ant Pruitt. I want to thank everybody that showed up here, Mike King, Mike Sweeney, and, of course, Ant Pruitt for popping in briefly. I want to thank all the photographers for submitting something, and we will see you all next week, next week, on Point and Shoot. Thank you very much, folks, for watching.
Someday he'll figure out how to do this right.
Right.
One of these days. Have a good night, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Hasta la vista.
Baby.
Okay, go off.